Hey, Scott Myers here. I'm hot, sweaty, a little out of breath. Came by it honestly though. Just finished a training run at a place called Devil's Playground. I'm at the trailhead now. Devil's Playground on one of my favorite mountains in the whole world, Pikes Peak. And it's a training run because what I'm working on is I'm entered in a high altitude race for next week. So this is part of my training program here. What I've been learning about this training thing is that I need experts. I tend to just set out and try to get things done on my own, but it's really helpful for me to find people who have been here before, who know what they're doing, and really get some advice from them and some tips from them. And so I have relationships with a couple of these mentor types of people, and it's kind of fun because they're good people, but it's interesting that there's some disagreement between one expert and the next about how you do this stuff. So there's a lot of agreement. So everybody agrees, for example, you got to have a plan. You don't just wake up and decide to do this and then it happens. No, you got to have a plan, and you got to work that plan. You got to work it for months or years. Everybody agrees that the plan has to have certain kinds of elements in it, and it has to have variety in it. You can't just get up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to run 3 miles every day for my whole training program, and that's what I'm going to do. No, you got to have a plan, and it's got to have a variety of things in it, and you really got to work the plan and adjust the plan as you go. I expect that there's disagreement on these kinds of things because everybody's a little bit different and that sort of thing. There's disagreement on nutrition, though, which is kind of funny. They'll tell me, one person will say, hey, you wouldn't run a race car on the same fuel that you put in your minivan. You get top-notch fuel, and that's how you got to treat your body. You got to do the same thing. You got to put in, this kind of calorie, and this percentage of your calories needs to be from protein, and this much from this kind of carbohydrates and that kind of stuff. And then the next guy I talk to will say, it doesn't really matter what you put in your body. You're going to burn 4,500 calories doing that training run tomorrow, so just eat whatever you want. Your body's going to burn it off anyway, and it doesn't care what kind of calories you use. So there's disagreement on that stuff. One of the things that there's agreement on among the experts, and this is really consistent, is that rest gets built into the training program. It's not an afterthought. You don't get to say, well, I'll rest when I get tired, or just assume that the sleep that you get at night is enough rest. No, you have to schedule rest in the same way that you schedule anything else. So usually that means on this day I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let my body rest, or maybe for these 2 days in a row. And some people will even say, don't even take the stairs on your rest days. Your body just needs rest. So I'm fascinated by this stuff. I'm learning from this stuff. And I think it's fun when the science of how our bodies works catches up with what we've kind of known for a really long time. So, for example, there are entire cultures who are thousands of years old who have this rest sort of thing built into their life. In fact, they don't just have rest, they have penalties if you don't take a day of rest. They're that serious about it. Well, where do they get this idea? One account is that God himself established, and you find it in the scriptures in the account of the creation where it says God worked for 6 days creating the world and everything in it, and then on the seventh day he rested from all of his work. And then he talks to his people later and says, this is the way I want you to do it too. I want you to work for 6 days and rest on the seventh day. And then later he even says that the Sabbath is something that I established for you because I know it's good for you. He uses the word Sabbath, which is actually a pretty simple word. It just means stop. So these people get this idea that there's 6 days of work and then 1 day of rest, and that's somehow good for them. And the science is catching up with them now. The science is saying there are things that your body needs to do that it can only do when it's fully at rest. So you have to have that time to make the rest work. I love this stuff. I'm getting it now for myself, and the training helps. The training helps me put some other things in perspective too. So I recognize that my body needs rest. I work my body. I exercise my body. I have to, or this race is going to be a disaster. But I work my body, and last week swinging a hammer and pushing a wheelbarrow, and that kind of work. I exercise my body doing this training kind of stuff, and my body needs rest. It needs time to regenerate. It needs time to renew. My mind needs rest. I work my mind also, and I'm analyzing this constantly, or I'm trying to figure out a better way to do that, or I'm looking for a new solution for this problem, or I'm trying to figure out a new way to say something so that people will hear it differently. So my mind gets a lot of work. My mind gets exercise too. I do puzzles. My wife makes fun of me for doing puzzles, but my mind gets exercise, and my mind needs rest as well. My soul needs rest. My soul gets a workout too, whether it's anxiety. My wife or one of my kids has to go to the hospital, and the anxiety from working through all of that, it works on my soul. My dad's just starting chemo treatment. That has an effect on my soul. I pray for him, but it gives my soul this kind of workout. My soul even gets work that is kind of, it just doesn't really make sense for me to do this, but I do. I keep trying to earn something, like maybe I'll become good enough so that eventually I will earn all of these blessings that seem to be coming my way. And I know that doesn't really work that way, and that's a futile effort, but it's still something that my soul needs to rest from. So, tomorrow will be another workout day. It'll be another work day. The day after that will be another workout day and another work day. But the following day will be a stop day. I need to give my body, my mind, my soul, they need rest. Maybe that's what you need to. If you made it this far, then I guess the only thing I have left to say is, may you find rest for your body. May your mind be at rest at some place during this week, and may your soul find the rest that it so desperately needs. All right? Later.